Dude, do you even adult? Because I've been out of school for like 7 years and I don't feel like I adult.
Growing up, I used to look at people out of school and think they were adults. You know, when they were studying.
It's like, oh, I'm done with school, I'm a grown up. And then
But
you
that's the
realize and
dream.
you're just like, no.
That's the dream. To finish school. Well, when you're in school, you don't know any better than that. You're going to finish school and then have a job. You don't know what a job is, but you just want money.
Yeah, you know
So-
that you need money
so you
and
know
that's
that
about as far as it goes.
You want to buy a nice car, you want to buy a house. And
Yeah, you totally don't think about what it takes to get that house and car.
It's like magically just appears once you leave school or
Yeah,
once you
I know.
finish studying or
You
whatever
look at all
it is.
the grown-ups and you're
Yeah.
just like, I want to be like them.
Little do you know what goes on in the background.
Yeah, like needing to save a third of your salary. How do you even do that?
Saving a third. Okay. That's the 50, 30, 20 rule who Senator Elizabeth Warren made popular back in the day. So if you save a third of your salary from the time you start work at about 23 or 24, then by the time you reach retirement or maybe before, you'll have enough money to have a nice holiday.
Have a nice holiday. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
so I'm
Or
gonna
like a
be
retirement plan.
like 65 and just go on a fantastic holiday and then poof, I'm broke.
No, not like that. For the rest of your life, to be well off, or to have like a nest egg for you.
That makes
Yeah.
sense.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
But
But
one
one
third.
third.
I
One
don't-
third.
I
Okay,
think-
first of all, do you even know if you have 1/3 of your salary left over?
That's where your budget comes in. That's everyone
What
needs a
is
budget.
this?
What do you mean? What is this? Everyone knows it's a budget.
Don't assume.
What do you mean?
What if I don't know what a
okay,
budget is?
a budget. If everyone, okay, not everyone does accounting in school. Yeah, you are correct. My bad. So a budget basically tells you how much of income you have or you should receive if you have a steady income job.
Oh yeah, that's true.
So if you have a steady income job, for example, you're
Good luck
getting,
to the business owners.
yeah, well, thank you. I'm one of them. That's not easy, let me tell you that much. You don't know whether this month's going to be negative or positive. You just got to go with it. So if you have a steady income, that's good. And if you have a partner, it's even better. So you can combine your income. But if you're single, let's just work in a single average 24, 25-year-old. Is that all right? Okay, average person, young person, you have a steady job, average income of, I don't know, what's the average income? I don't even know anymore, like 15? Is that too high? You're okay, yeah, for an average single person, okay, starting, what is,
Starting salaries.
I don't know.
It depends if you're qualified or not. So like
Ooh,
if
that's
you're
another thing.
nowadays it's completely it varies. But
also
if
depends on
you
the field, right?
if
So it's
you
8
get-
grand?
if you get 10k, you're lucky.
Oh my word. Okay, well, that makes sense. Going back to budgets. So a budget tells you how much you have or how much you intend on getting and how much you need to spend on. And when I mean how much you spend on, I'm talking about your absolute necessities. That would be your rent if you're not staying at home. Or if you're staying at home, you should be paying your parents or whoever you're living with at least a portion of your salary.
Yeah.
That would be your
For a
rent.
roof over your head, basically.
Yeah, that would be your rent, your food, not takeout food to cook at home. Don't come with your nonsense of you want KFC every week or chicken licken or pizza or burgers, McDonald's, whatever it is. That's
It's also,
gonna cost you.
I suppose it's also important to, when you budget, you need to know the difference between a need and a want.
Yes.
For
yes.
example, like KFC is a want.
Yes, not a need.
It's not a need. You could be eating plain rice every day of your
Yeah.
life and be hustling.
That's true.
But
because that gives you but it's more to start. But you need some kind of protein. Okay, that's another topic for another day. So that lots of budget will tell you your food, your rent. If you have a car, your petrol or fuel, whatever you want to call it. Insurance. If you have a car that's older, you might not need insurance. So I don't have insurance on my car. I know it's a bad thing. Don't look at me. But I don't have insurance. My car is old. If I do go to insurance, it's going to cost
it's
me
going to cost more.
Yeah, than what it is.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But that's a risk that I take. So if something happens to my car, then I need, obviously that's another
healthcare cover.
Healthcare, yes. Now, like I said, I don't have insurance in my car, so I have to have a budget. Or I should have a budget in case anything goes wrong with the car.
Yes.
So that's another thing. You should
Emergency funds.
Yes, emergency funds. Healthcare, same story. If you don't have
That's true.
a medical aid or you can't afford one, then
have an emergency fund.
have an
for
emergency
that.
fund or get a hospital plan.
Yeah,
That's the next best thing, hospital plan, especially if you have dependents or living with someone, whatever it is, get a hospital plan. What else is there to do in your budget? I don't think there's anything. I don't know what else.
So,
food. Oh, your lights and water.
Yes.
I don't. If you're renting, I think that's included. I'm not
sometimes.
sure. Sometimes. I know mine. I have a prepaid, which works at it's much cheaper. Yeah. Especially for a single person. I hear stories of people paying like $1,000 a month or like $2,000 a month.
On electricity.
Yes. I don't know why. It's crazy.
Maybe we should consider that.
It's mad. Mine is less than. Mine's not even 400 a month. Mine's like I load 400 a month, but I always have extra.
Oh wow!
So, yeah.
That's really economical.
And that's with me cooking and playing games, watching TV. But I hardly watch TV now. But there's always some electronic.
Usual.
Yeah, the usual stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's what your budget does. It tells you.
So it's essentially putting your needs in order of priority,
yes, exactly.
And hopefully there's some left over at the end.
Then you see what you left over. But now what you have left over, you should be taking some of that and putting it away to save.
Yes, this is true. And also you can't. Well, in my opinion, you shouldn't be. Your budget should also include something like entertainment. You can't just be a hermit.
Yes. I agree.
It's about balance.
It is.
And it's also something that comes with time, I think. At first, you don't really know what you're doing. You kind of follow all the pieces of advice that you got here and there.
Yeah.
But then you eventually learn that, okay, this is a reasonable percentage of my income to spend on whatever. And then for me, I won't be able to sleep at night if my entertainment budget outweighs my savings.
Oh, one more thing I forgot to mention. Sorry, internet. I know that's.
Oh yeah, nowadays that's an essential. It's like part of your utilities. But yeah, so like I can't sleep peacefully.
For you, what does entertainment mean? What are you referring to? Are you referring to going to the movies? Or sitting at home and renting DVD. Well, I don't even want to rent DVDs anymore, but...
Do DVD stops even exist?
Yeah.
Okay, so entertainment for me is basically any money that I need for myself if I'm outside my house.
Okay.
So if I need to grab something to eat quickly or buy myself a snack, that's the same thing. Or go out or club or buy drinks, things like that.
Okay.
Then that would be entertainment. I'm not the kind that like subscribes your Netflix, your DSTV.
But that falls on the internet, doesn't it? Or not? No, it's a different.
That's
subscription.
it. Yeah, it's a whole
subscription.
different subscription. So that would be entertainment.
So that will fall under your DVD in inverted commas.
Yeah. So
movies and whatnot.
So that's something that I can't live with.
But how often? Okay, let me put it. How often would you intend on going out? Is it every week? Is it every week? Twice a month? Three times or twice? Yeah, what did I say? Is it 1, 2, 3, once
How
a
many
month?
times a week, basically?
Or month, or whatever.
Oh my gosh.
What would be the frequency? Would it depend on your budget, or would you make that, would you slot that in before you do your budget?
Young people problems.
What would you do personally?
Personally, I revolve my lifestyle around my finances.
Okay,
I don't revolve my finances around my lifestyle.
Okay, that makes sense.
But I'm aware of the fact that I'm good with money.
Okay.
I'm one of those people, I'm just lucky, I'm good at managing my money. I can save, I know about these things.
All right.
So it's never been a problem. It's never been a problem for me. But in terms of like going out and my entertainment budget, it's changed. So like as a student, my entertainment budget was like way more than healthcare because I was still...
You were still in school.
I was
still campus varsity, whatever it is.
Yes, so that was still under my mom.
Yeah.
Whereas when I moved out and when I was overseas and finances were pretty comfortable, my entertainment budget was substantial.
Yeah.
I mean, still didn't outweigh my savings, but it changed because you can upgrade your lifestyle a little bit depending. You don't have to be frugal. It's nice,
It also depends. What happens is in life you go up and down. So you can go up with your budget and then come back down. That's fine. That's natural because you have unexpected things like, especially when you have a recession and stuff, then you need to cut down on certain things. Even things that you thought were necessities now
you realize
luxuries, and you got to downgrade. So that's okay. And speaking about savings and budgeting and all of that, you also need to have a separate account for your savings.
Yes, banking is so important.
Yes, banking.
Banking, yeah.
Banking is important because I find that even though you may be saving in inverted commas or in theory,
you've allocated money.
So, example, you've saved 500 rand, but you still have it in your check account, your main account. When you are in the shop and you look at your account,
you're like,
and you're like, okay, there's something.
Dollar bills.
Yeah, there's something that costs. For example, you see a shirt. I'm just giving you an example that costs 150 rand, and you know you got okay. I will spare $500. Let me buy the t-shirt stuff 350 rand. But if you had that in your savings, you wouldn't do that. So that now also makes you think twice about what's an essential or necessity and what's a luxury. You may have 100 t-shirts at home, then it becomes and you wear
and
like
you're just
5.
like, oh, but I've got money.
Yeah, and then you only wear 5 for the whole month, or you know what I mean. And then you want another one. That's not. But if you've got 2 t-shirts at home and you need 4 and you buy one more, that's fine. That's
again, it's weighing up the needs versus want issue.
But that's what the separate account does.
I also have really bad news for anyone who doesn't know this. Is the banks are not your friend.
Yes, they aren't.
They are not your friend. They are designed to make money off you.
Yes.
So, don't be a dodo and leave all your money in your check account.
Yes.
Because while you could earn maybe 2% interest in a savings account, you're probably only earning 0.5% interest in your check account.
Yeah.
So it doesn't sound like much.
But it helps.
Interest adds up.
Yes, it does.
It's like...
Do you know one of the banks, I don't know if we can name the banks, but I'll just leave it as nameless bank. One of the not all of them, most of them from our research, the more money you have in your savings, the more your interest is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
we have
again,
brackets.
the rich get richer and the poor get poorer.
You have brackets, but that encourages you to save, and it encourages you every month to put something in and to keep it there. So you know that only if it's absolutely necessary, then you can get that. And the interest rates go up pretty much. I think what I saw was either 5%.
It's about 5% per bracket.
Yeah.
I've noticed things like that
that's
as well.
a big chunk. If you've got more than 30 grand in an account and you're getting 5% on that makes a big difference because it adds to your 30 grand and then your interest
and then that
up.
Yes.
So it's a very passive way of making money, but it helps. And that interest, you can use that to include in your budget.
Yes, if you really want,
because
then
you're getting money for free.
You can pocket your interest. But I think the thing that you hit on is that you researched, and that's the most important thing, because you need to know what you're doing. Like, you can't. It doesn't make sense. Read the fine print. Seriously, read the fine print of the account types that you have. Make sure that you're using the correct kind of account for what you need to be doing. Or even with loans and credit.
Yes.
You may have access to one type of loan, and you may have a credit card.
Yeah.
They're both at your disposal.
But which has the lowest interest rate?
But use the one that's got a lower interest rate. Because, I mean, it's not rocket science.
Yeah.
Why pay the bank more? Seriously, the banks are not your friend.
They aren't.
The banks are not your friend.
They will make it seem as if they are, because they want your money.
Yeah, but they're really not.
They're not.
They are really not. And one of the types of accounts that you can get that I think are pretty handy, also it's a bit of a projection if you know nothing about budgeting or money or anything like that, is a tax-free savings account.
Oh, yes.
So,
but that's mostly for students, right? Am I correct?
No.
Oh. Do they have the ones with below, I think they're below a certain amount?
So I haven't I've never seen the low end tax free savings account. In my kind of scope.
Okay.
It's mostly for the wealthy, so it's like you're over R1 million. It's your investment. So the tax man, nice. He's another evil Knievel.
Yeah, we'll come to that.
He's another evil Knievel. He always just wants. He doesn't want.
Do you even tax?
Hey.
Tax. Okay, so
there's one quote in life that has resonated with me from the time I could walk. There are two things in life.
Two certain things in life.
Yes, there are two things in life that are certain.
Yes.
Same story. One is death.
Yes.
Two is
the tax man.
Yes.
You can always guarantee in the tax man. That's one
Just
guy.
pay your tax.
Just pay your tax, like she says. So there are different types of tax that one can pay. The most common or most ones that you will see if you are not employed is obviously VAT or value added tax that you get basically on every single thing. So that's from your basic.
You can't avoid
that. Yeah, that's the tax that is added to the. I think goes to the government for whatever. We don't know what tax goes for, but it goes for something. Then you get obviously your fuel tax. The money you pay at the toll gates. That's also part of a tax. But the most what people see when they're working is your PAYE, which is your pay as you earn. So different brackets on your pay slip, you'll see a certain amount coming off your regular salary. So you might be thinking, wow, you're going to get a nice thick 15 grand. Meanwhile, you're only going to get 12 because 3 grand goes to the tax man. And it's just, I'm not sure of the exact calculations, but it's a percentage that goes towards, in our case, it's SARS, which is the South African Revenue Service. So that goes for that. And that, we are told, is allocated to the government for the roads, for your...
everything, the running
your police,
of the country.
Your courts, whatever they need the money for. That's the tax. The good thing about that is, when it comes to the end of the year, so it's the end of financial year, which is the 28th of Feb, so you'll get your... I forgot the name of this document.
IRP5.
That's thingamajig, yes. Your IRP5, your company gives you one of those. You can either do it online with e-filing. So you will look at your IRP5, which your company gives you, and you check this thing out. It's the same thing on the computer or wherever it is.
Again, read the fine print.
Now, this is very important. Make sure your details are correct. Because sometimes you may, when you started your work, wherever, you may have moved, your number has changed. Make sure your details are correct. They give you an opportunity to change that. Sometimes they may ask you for, or they will ask you for proof of address. So you'll need a
utility bill.
Utility bill, yes, or anything that has your name on it that can be validated.
Any invoice.
Invoice, yeah. I normally use I think it's a Trueworth statement or some account, but it has to be your name.
In your name,
yes. If you don't have something on your name, then you'll have to go to the police and get an affidavit. So you'll need that, and then you need, I think you need your bank statement, if I'm not mistaken, and all your tax that you've been paying on your investments. So I've had and your medical aid. So your medical aid will send you a certificate and your investment. So if you have a retirement annuity, and even your savings, if you have a savings account or saving investment, whatever it is, you'll get one of those. Submit all those documents. Based on that, they do a calculation on how much tax you've paid. They won't tell you how much you've been paying because obviously it's a lot. Not until you've been paying like $1 million. Well, I'm not saying it's $1 million, but it would be a lot, right? Depending on your contributions, whatever. And then so you submit all of that, and most of the time you get money back.
That's cool. So
it's not a lot. It depends. I've noticed from my experience in life, if you have a medical aid and you have a spouse and children, you get more back because obviously you're paying more for them. Each one you have an amount, so you get more money back. For a single person like myself, I used to get, one time I got like 100 rand, other time I got like 1,000 rand. So it varies.
Okay, so that's not so bad. You basically get a rebate.
Yes, it's a rebate, but like I said, it depends on
the situation.
The funny thing is, the more investing and savings you do, the more you get back. Because obviously they're taxing you more. But then now you got to find the money to invest and to save. Legally, of course, it has to be legal. It has to be.
See, this is why adulting is hard.
It is. It's strenuous because you got to think about all of that, and then you've got to think about other things. Your daily. Now that just happens once a year, and that's just for people who are employed, like your normal employers. Now, if you have a
businesses, it's a whole different ball game.
It is a different ball game. Like for me, I've got a business. And now you can no longer register as closed corporations, which had member shares in different. Now it has to be PTY, which is partnerships or private companies, and then that you got to do auditing, and you got to submit to SARS, and then you make sure all your books are in order, but you have all your employees on file. That could be another episode on its own. That's just...
Oh my God.
And, when I first...
I'm tired already, I want a nap.
For all you people who are in business or are thinking of starting a business, make sure before you do anything that you have a proper accountant. That's what will set you in life, because there's a lot of auditing in businesses. And if you're trying to be an entrepreneur, I suggest the same thing, because tax is inevitable, like we said, and you want to start off the right way. Also, it's good for you. It's good for your peace of mind, because starting a business on your own, even like at this age or any age, is daunting. So you need good people.
It is.
You need some
good
people
to have some guidance
in your corner.
When does this even happen though? Because I'm like you said, you were talking about like the school when you're a teenager and when you're in high school and your perceptions of life. It's like, okay, I'm gonna finish school and then I'm an adult.
But you're not. I don't feel like an adult now.
Funniest joke ever.
Question: how old were you when you finished school? About 18. Yeah, 18. That's the average age, right? Do you think anyone was an adult at 18? It's not like you just finished school now and then tomorrow you wake up, boom,
I got my big girl panties on.
No.
Those big girl panties are really not nice. I really don't like them. Sometimes they need to get pulled up to my ears.
Oh,
and I'm just like, I don't want these. I was happier before this. But seriously, it's like, so I have had many different kinds of experiences in terms of where I've lived.
Mm-hmm.
So at first, when I finished school, I went away for university.
Yeah, I remember.
That epically failed.
Yes.
But that was like one experience of needing to figure out how to even adult.
Yeah.
And being a broke student is real.
It is.
Being a broke student is real. So there was me thinking, okay, I can budget. I'm more or less managing my finances. I'm a student. Woohoo! Great. Then I came back home. Back home, and I was just like,
what's going on? Yeah.
What's happening? Like, how do I do this? And the biggest, I actually enjoyed it though. The biggest change. No, the biggest change, and like what seriously taught me how to adult is being on my own. Is completely leaving the nest.
Yeah.
For me, that's the only time the big girl panties really appeared.
Yeah.
Is because you don't have a choice.
You don't.
And if you do a bad job, it's apparent.
Yes.
You literally come the end of the month, you're looking at the four walls and you're like, what did I do?
Exactly. What did I do wrong? What didn't I do? Exactly.
Or if you're not asking yourself the question, what did I do wrong? Then that in itself is a problem. But you fix yourself. Do your thing. So for me, moving out was when I really realized how to adult.
Okay.
But I don't know, like,
what age was that though?
Is that the generic? How old was I when I moved out? I was about 22.
Geez, that's still young though.
22?
That's still young.
Yeah, I know. I was a little baby out of the nest.
Yeah, well, technically you're an adult in the eyes of the law when you turn 21. So
18 in South Africa, buddy.
Is it 18 now?
Always been.
Oh,
it's
wow.
21 in the United States of America.
Oh, okay. Well, America has got some things going on for them. So I don't really know if people at that age even know what's going on in their own life, because when you're 21, you're just probably starting college or almost midway through, and you've got classes. You probably still live at home, or you're living on res. So you kind of still you still are supported by your parents or by your friends or by your family. I think only once you get into the real world after you're studying, so you finish your studying, get your degree, and you start applying for jobs. And then even when you start applying for jobs at that age, or with no experience, you're going to get something that's low end. So when you get something that's low end, you can look for a place of your own if you're not staying at home. You look for a place on your own, and that's where you go. Now this is where you have no choice, but to start budgeting. When you move out, start on your own, first job, first place, and your first place is going to be horrible. It's not going to be a mansion. It's not going to be a 2-bedroom like you thought when you were in grade 1 or grade 5, whatever, when you're drawing your master
Unless
plan.
you're a trust fund kid, then then you starting off then you can like c'est la vie.
Yeah.
But for your normal Joe, your first place is probably going to be like a little hole.
Exactly, and your first job's going to be really shitty as well. So you've got to. That's when you kind of start adulting. You kind of start realizing that, okay, partying and going out and drinking every day is not how life is. So I think that's when you sort of become aware of other things in life. You become aware of who you are, not of who you are, but of what your responsibility is and where you kind of want to go.
Where your priorities lie.
Yeah, exactly. So that's how your adulting starts. But for me, right now, I still don't think of myself as an adult. But I know I do adult things. So I think that's where, for me, and my friends as well. I have a lot of friends that are around my age. Like my brother's also my age. My sister's a bit older. I have a best friend who's 35, just turned 35. And I have younger friends who are between 21 and 25, 21, 25, 26, around there. And in terms of work, we're kind of in the same I don't say same experience, but we all have professional jobs, right? Well,
yeah.
I have a business, they have their jobs, and they get paid relatively well. But in terms of their thinking, it's a bit more different than how I am.
But is that because of being a business owner as opposed to having a steady?
But also there's things that we are on the same page with. Like when we go out, I don't mind going out maybe twice a month. Like that's okay. And I feel that I connect with them on that level. So I still feel when I'm with them, I still feel a little bit younger. You know what I mean? So in that way, I don't really know if I'm an adult or not. But I do adult things. I may think of things that they don't think of. So they're a bit more happy-go-lucky, if you want to put it that way.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Because some of them still stay at home with their parents. Some of them are staying on their own. But there's still that, you can still see that their priorities aren't always in line. But they're getting there.
I think the important thing, like we were talking about when you move out, like being out of the nest, is that it's become very difficult to do that. I mean, the circumstances under which I moved out at 22, they weren't ideal.
Yeah.
It was literally, if you watched Rio, the movie Rio.
With One the Bird.
Yes.
Oh, yes,
when Bloo
yes.
falls out of his nest and he's supposed to learn how to fly. That was me.
Okay.
So if you like trying to plan everything, it's not going to happen as early as you think.
Yeah.
So if that is happening to you and you're still kind of stuck at home and you're like, oh my God, I'm going to be 40 in my grandma's freaking, what do you call it? Basement. Don't stress. It'll happen. And yeah, it will happen.
It will happen. Look, even if you are in a stage where you're in your 30s and you feel like your life isn't where you thought it would be, but it's not going to be where you planned it to be. But the good thing is, it's always going to be better. It's always going to be better than it was before.
And if it is going according to plan, please get down on your knees and say thank you to
whatever you
the
pay,
big man
guys,
upstairs.
I know not everyone's religious and not everyone believes in God, but whatever it is, even if you say thank you to the universe, if your plans
are going well, just be grateful.
Just say thank you to whoever, your parents, your friends, whatever. Just say thank you, because adulting isn't easy. You're not going to get it right. Even if you're a parent, you're not going to get it right, and that's okay. Expect to have mistakes and mess ups and life lessons and people backstabbing and you falling out with your best friend and whatever it is, that's going to happen. If it happens, let it happen, but don't be down forever because...
Pull up those big girl panties up to them ears.
Okay, and for the guys, just grow a pair. It will get better. Not every situation lasts forever. So, chin up, soldier. It will get better. And that's how you even adults.